Hello everybody, welcome to Should You Buy It, where we help you determine whether or not a game's worth your time and money. And today we're going to be looking at a game that's been making its rounds on the internet lately called Devil's Third. But you already knew that if you clicked the video. I mean, you saw the title. Kind of ruined. You can't really introduce videos anymore, because it's, you know. Devil's Third is a game made by Tomonobu Itagaki, the same guy who made the Dead or Alive series, as well as the new Ninja Gaiden games. Neither of which have I really played before, and I'll probably never get around to it, let's be realistic here. Anyway, he left Tecmo and sued them because apparently they owed him a bunch of money. An odd occurrence since it's completely unheard of for Japanese video game companies to mistreat their longtime employees. Shortly after this phenomenon, Itagaki went and started his own company, Valhalla Studios, to make games on his own terms and to stick it to those buttholes at Tecmo. When they decide to make the kinds of games that'll make Tecmo regret ever letting him go remains to be seen. But in the meantime, they made a game that was so bad, Nintendo didn't even want to release it in the US despite it being an exclusive title for the Wii U. Rumor has it that since this game was a Wii U exclusive, Nintendo had no choice but to bring it to the Americas, so they made as few as they were legally obligated to. And since the Big N wanted to sweep this under the rug, there aren't very many copies floating around. And naturally, people are going to let things get way out of hand and buy multiple copies of a shitty game with the intent on reselling it in a decade or two for about $100 profit max. But is Devil's Third actually that bad, or is it one of those games that people make it out to be way worse than it actually is? I mean, is Itagaki right by claiming anybody who gave this game a negative review only did so because they sucked at it? Let's give it an honest look and find out. Well, the first thing that you'll notice is that the graphics are pretty subpar. But come on, in this day and age, bad graphics usually mean it's fine. You see, back in the age of 8, 16, and even 64-bit consoles, a game with bad graphics meant you couldn't even tell what was going on. And although the frame rates drop during cutscenes and, well, just kinda whenever really, I haven't found it to hinder the actual gameplay itself. But yeah, the graphics really do suck for a game that was released in 2015. But how about the gameplay? Does that hold up? Nope. The story had something to do with satellites, and I didn't really care, and the non-playable characters aren't so bad, but the main character is easily the biggest kook in any video game or anything that I've ever seen, ever. Who designed this guy thinking he'd look cool? This isn't what badass people look like, this is what jabroni businessmen trying to come up with edgy characters think badass people look like. He's like a super off-brand douchebag version of Duke Nukem on steroids. No, seriously, they show him doing steroids. Why not just have him huff Jankum and butt-chug Pennzoil while you're at it? Anyway, after a few forgettable boss fights, this game really picks up when you turn it off, take the disc out, and put Super Mario Maker in. Super Mario Maker! Talk about a whole heck of a mess of fun. After years of fan-made hacks, Nintendo finally gives us the ability to create our own 2D Mario levels in the style of Super Mario Bros., Super Mario 3, Super Mario World, and New Super Mario Bros. With weird frame rate issues that doesn't honestly bother me, but nobody talks about it, so I'm gonna mention it here. Unfortunately, the original physics are also slightly altered because apparently Nintendo felt the older Mario games were too hard, and although I don't think the controls made them difficult or that they were even hard to begin with, it's not a deal breaker. I'd show off some sweet dope-ass levels, bro, but I'm not very clever when it comes to creating levels. But I do love downloading stages other people have been making, with some of them looking like a lot of time went into it, particularly with the levels where you don't press anything. They do get old after a while, but they're a hell of a lot of fun to watch. Another thing that looked like a lot of time went into is the fact that this game is compatible with every amiibo available to date, giving Mario costumes and Easter eggs for the respective characters, like tunes that play when you finish the level or when you die. It'd be cool if they would have included Super Mario Bros. 2 with the Doki Doki Panic style, but maybe they'll revive that series some other time. Seriously, why isn't Nintendo giving us more of that? Swap the characters out and call it a new IP if you must. All in all, this is the kind of game that'll never get old, whether you prefer downloading new levels or creating your own. But other than the part where you switch the game out with Super Mario Maker, Devil's Third is way below par. It's not the worst game ever, but it really has nothing going for it. It's not as bad as Sonic Boom since the game actually is playable, and it had been a pretty good shooter on the 64, but not in 2016. There's just too many other games you could be playing instead, or even things you could be doing in general. Like I said, it's 2016, and we have apps that let us watch pretty much any movie or TV show that's ever been made. And you can go on the internet and watch videos of monkeys peeing in their own mouths for free, mind you. Well, it's only free if you have an internet service provider. Oh yeah, internet. This game has an online mode that's the best part about the game, but that's not really saying a whole lot. It'd be like eating a turd covered in expired off-brand sprinkles and praising the sprinkles. It's playable, sure, but if you're gonna play an online shooter, just play Call of Duty or something. The only thing that really hits the ball out of the park with Devil's Third is where you switch it out and play Super Mario Maker instead. But Super Mario Maker is completely independent of Devil's Third, unlike Sonic and Knuckles. So if you see this game for a good price on eBay or just happen to come across it at retail, you should not spend your money on this, but more so you shouldn't waste your time on it. Do not buy Devil's Third for any reason whatsoever.
Why did you buy the game?
Hey, look, it's everybody's favorite ruffian, Shane. Well, I actually bought this in Mexico when I came across it for a normal retail price, and there was some guy following me around the store with a shotgun because I'm a weird-looking gringo. And honestly, I was optimistic, thinking I might actually like this, and I thought, hey, even if I don't, I can just sell it on eBay and retire.
Well, you can actually buy it on Amazon for the MSRP market suggested retail price of $59.99. They're new copies in circulation. They printed more because of, the false rarity of it, and there's no way you can buy it for cheap now. That's all you need to know. Regular price, not cheap. It's still expensive for what it is, and it's not a good game. It's not worth that. But if you're a collector, you might want to have it in your collection to have a complete set. So just keep that in mind.
Thanks for watching, and as always,